Hello, my name's Mark Boyd. I'm the Head of Loss Prevention for Glue.
Hi, I'm Nahkeeta Tansell and I'm Head of Training for Glue.
Yeah, so Glue's quite a unique business. We don't actually have a centralised DC. For a business of our size, we probably should have. But our stores are more mini warehouses. So our deliveries, we do so many different suppliers. Our deliveries actually are almost direct to store. So we have to have a very big focus on making sure our inventory management is correct and our stores can receive the stocking correctly in terms of our invoicing. So our training programs are heavily developed around our back of house processes.
So we've just recently undertaken a big cultural revision within Glue. And Mark and I have worked together quite closely to ensure that it becomes ingrained into our culture everywhere possible. So what we've done is taken Glue and used it as an acronym where G means give attention, L is love, U is understand, and E is excite. And what that then means through this new cultural pillar system is that we have these different words that mean different things. And give attention in the sense of loss and prevention then means that you're giving attention to your stock in store, you're giving attention to your customers, you're making sure that you have awareness of where everyone is in store. The love section is to really love what you're doing, love your brands, and be store proud. So within that, you're naturally, again, having that awareness of what's going on and being able to detect potential theft and things like that. The understand piece really comes in quite heavily for loss and prevention in particular, where there's a lot of reports management and having to link different elements in together to ensure that you're getting the full picture. And then the excite is being excited about being able to have that control over your business. And as Mark said before, we operate like as if we've got mini warehouses within our store. So being able to have that ability to have so much insight into the operations of a retail outlet is fantastic for our managers' development.
We were losing on average $16,000 a month through online fraud and chargebacks. Through reviewing what we actually, all the as is currently, I discovered that we had things in place, but there was a lack of understanding of how our fraud detection system worked, and a lack of understanding on our online business in terms of how the chargebacks worked and refunding orders, etc. wasn't quite there. So I've got everybody in a room. I got some external people in from the bank, from our online fraud platform, and we talked through and we worked through and really got them to the understand piece around the impact of fraud is having on our business, and then what then we can do to fix it. So we then looked at our challenges processes online, and then through that process we managed to reduce our fraud from just over $16,000 a month to $2,000 a month. Our year-to-date saving on chargebacks is $38,000, and our year-to-date fraud detection is $107,000 that we've detected and denied through this process. We're continuously reviewing the process, which we're doing at the moment, in order then to help improve sales as well. So what we're now doing in terms of our online strategy is now we've got that under control in terms of general transactions. We're now starting to review, well, how many of those transactions that we denied that we thought were suspicious or actually weren't, and how much more then can we then relax a little bit in order to generate more customers and convert them to paying customers, I suppose, to increase profitability. And the other thing now, we're starting to target specific product. So from all of the analysis that we've done on what the fraud was, what were they buying, when did they buy it, we've now identified that certain brands, G-Star for example, the Cox Motif and Lacoste were really high value brands. So now written in specific rules to highlight or challenge when people buy multiple quantities of the same item or the same brand, for example. Or watches was another example where we sell obviously branded watches, and watches are sort of $200-300 each. We then found through that analysis that people were targeting multiple brands of watches. Through one example, we stopped $8,500 worth of fraud on a day in terms of people targeting watches. So we wrote specific rules or challenges around that in order to highlight potential fraud on watches. So that's had a huge impact obviously on our business as well. Absolutely. So what we've done is produce what we call a risk matrix. So this is by store. We then look at various different KPIs throughout the store. So we've looked at negative stock on hand, we've looked at our mystery shop, we've looked at cash loss, how many investigations are generated, how many transfers are outstanding, for example, what stock loss adjustments were done throughout the week, and we measure that by store. And our measurements are red, amber, green. So obviously poor stores above average highlighted as red. We measure that against the stop loss figures, and that really gives us an idea of where to focus. So our poor performing stores, it highlights whether the manager needs some support or some help. So our estate managers can go and spend some time with them. It might highlight some training issues where we can then spend some time with training the team, or it can highlight, general overall poor performance. So then we can target those stores, or those what we call red stores, our focus stores, with key support. So as a management team or senior leadership team on a Monday in our ops meeting, we can talk about that as a team, and then the whole team buy in terms of where they need to provide that support. And from our results, we've got 9 stores out of the 34 that we have that are causing 62% of our shrink. So those 9 stores will be where we need to focus and reduce our losses there.
Getting our managers to understand why this is so important, getting their buy-in, and really having them on board this journey that we're trying to embark upon with loss and prevention. And the ways that we've been able to overcome that is really showing them the advantages to them as their business owners, in a sense, as to what will happen when they've got everything under control. So now whenever we're talking about any new projects that we're launching, we correlate back to loss and prevention. And if your stock is accurate, if different things are under control, if your mystery shopper report's looking great, if your store's tidy, all those sorts of things, then that's going to lead to better results in other areas, or better implementation or cleaner implementation of different avenues. We've also put it into their quarterly assessments. So it means that then naturally they're reviewing this and seeing that, hey, we perform well, and to be able to move up within the business, I need to concentrate on this as much as I do with other areas.
I think that's a really key thing for us, is that we've got every team member from a casual through to a store manager who's got loss prevention KPIs, for example, within their performance reviews and within their job role as well. So we try and link it all together so it's integrated. So sometimes you find in businesses that loss prevention sort of sits here, the staff sit here, and you don't get that mesh in between, and that's what we've tried to do. And I think we're very lucky, aren't we? We've had a blank piece of paper at Glue, and they've allowed us to be able to really form our own, to go crazy with ideas and all of that type of thing, to be able to mesh it all together. And I think that's a really good advantage for us as a business.
So what we're really going to be looking at is now how giving our managers and people in store this control reflects upon their engagement. So we've recently undergone a whole host of focus groups, engagement surveys, which is where a lot of our cultural pieces have come from. So what we're really looking to is to further develop that, and then hopefully get a positive score at the end of it, which this has attributed to.
And I think for us as well is looking at now taking a little step back, because it's been a bit of a whirlwind, and then reviewing what we've done well, and then refining it. and then looking at our focus store program now and developing a program where those 9 stores that cause 62% of our shrink, what do we do differently in those stores to help reduce the shrink? How do we support them differently? And how do we engage the managers and how do we engage the senior team to really focus on that area and drive the results?